have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world when you hit that play button. So glad you did. Welcome back to the Genesis Frequency Podcast. I am Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina coming at you. And today's episode is one I want to dive right into. I've been excited to share this with you for a long time. Last week, I talked about one of the upcoming programs that I'll be facilitating very soon. Effective Personal Leadership, powerful program. People are reaching out to join and get in on that. I encourage you to do so. I want to talk about another program, a premier program that has really helped to transform my life. And I have that starting up very, very soon. So you might want to just reach out and talk to me about what I have available that can really assist you with me as your guide to make a transformation in your life. And I love this program I'm going to talk about today because of what I bring to it and what I've added to it and how it was put together. Everything is in there. And it gets right to the heart of why so many people never reach their potential and how you can. You don't have to be one of those people. It's my big dream goal course. It really is. And what I'm talking about is thinking into results. A structured, proven, transformative process that bridges the gap between what you want. I mean, what you really, really, really want. Your biggest dream, your most outrageous goal, the idea that has you excited and scared at the same time. And it gets you to move in that direction from day one. What do you really want? What do you actually want to experience? It's a system that's helped individuals and organizations around the world, really. And I do this work with individuals, with organizations, with ministries, with corporations, with small businesses, with entrepreneurs, with solopreneurs. It doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. Okay. It's a system that has achieved results around the world that most people once thought was impossible because think about it. We have put our imagination up on the shelf, most of us as adults. It was great when we were kids, right? Give us a cardboard tube from the wrapping paper and maybe a towel or an old blanket for a cape, and we could be doing have it all, couldn't we? We just imagined everything into our experience and lived it out, right? But then we put that on the shelf, thinking and being taught that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we don't have the resources. And we were really conditioned to not believe in our dreams anymore. And this one will take this system will take you out of all that. And again, it's helped people all over the world. And then I bring to it, and when I integrate this whole program with spiritual principles that we explore here, that I explore in my podcast, I'm not talking about religiosity. I'm talking about just the spiritual laws of existence, principles like divine intelligence, the law of mind, and the creative power of belief. Well, we put all that in there, then it becomes nothing short of life changing. Absolutely life changing. And this isn't about wishful thinking. It's not about positive thinking alone. It's about a disciplined, intentional way of thinking that aligns your beliefs, behaviors, and actions with the life you truly desire so that once felt far fetched, that one goal that used to seem so far fetched that you had no idea how. Remember, I always talk about how's none of your business anyway. Well, it actually becomes inevitable. You have to experience, you have to move into the life you would love to live. It has to happen because we're aligning with law. And that's what's so exciting. And you can probably hear it in my voice because I'm going to roll this out there again. Haven't done it in a while. And I'm excited to bring you along this journey. And first off, let me hit it on a couple points. And the first one being why most people never get what they want. So I'm going to start with that as just a hard truth. Most people never come close to living the life they're capable of living. And it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're not smart enough. They might think they're not smart enough. They might think of themselves, have this self-image that they're lazy. And it's not because they don't want success badly enough. Most people I talk to want it really, really, really bad, but they can't identify or they don't understand about the stoppers. And we do a lot of work around that. And the real reason is because most people have never been taught how to think properly, how to think efficiently, how to think effectively. From a very early age, all of us, we're conditioned. And we're conditioned to focus on what we can see, what we can measure, what we can logically explain. We're told to, oh, be realistic. Quit daydreaming. Get your head out of the clouds, right? Set achievable goals and stay safe. But here's the problem with all of that. The life you truly want, the big dream, the bold vision, the calling of your soul, the outrageous goal, almost never exists inside the boundaries of what's realistic right now and never exists within the boundaries of your comfort zone. It exists in the realm of potential. And to move into that realm, you have to learn, you must learn to think in a new way. And that's where thinking into results with spiritual integration comes in. It's a step by step process designed to help you break free from old patterns, old paradigms, rewrite limiting beliefs, and align your actions with your highest vision. And we spend time on the paradigms. I mean, the paradigms, let's face it, and I talk a lot about paradigms in this show. You can go to the website, thegenesisfrequency.com, and for shows, just hit the search bar and put in paradigms or paradigm shift. I mean, that's really the foundation of all this. And this work is written and put together by Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, the Proctor Gallagher Institute, their premier program. And Bob really devoted his entire life to teaching this paradigms, those deep rooted mental programs that control 95% of your behavior. Paradigms are a multitude of habits that have almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. I've shared that with you many, many, many times. But most people, by themselves, without a guide, without pointing the way and the place to look, never really identified true paradigms because most people we're not aware of them. Many of them are below the surface. Paradigms are why you can know what to do, but still not do it. Right? A couple episodes ago, I just talked about the knowing doing gap. They're why you can read the books, go to the seminars, make the plans, and still end up stuck. Paradigms are the invisible It's really, it can be looked at as the invisible operating system of your life. And most of us are running on an old, outdated operating system. Try to plug one of those old, outdated programs into your new computer. It's not going to work. Or if it does, it's not going to work efficiently or effectively and do what you want it to do. So our paradigms are invisible, the invisible operating system of our life. They're running quietly in the background, shaping your decisions, shaping your reactions, uh, influencing your confidence and results. And here's the kickers: paradigms don't just change because you want them to. Just because you shine the light on it, aha, there's one. They don't just change automatically. They change when you replace them consciously and deliberately with new ideas, new beliefs, new self images, new programming. Thinking into results, the way I do it with spiritual integration, is designed to help you do exactly that. So, when I dive into this, the first thing that we do, and I do with everybody, is look at the power behind setting a worthy ideal, a worthy goal, establishing a vision for our life. Every great transformation begins with a goal, but not just any goal. Most people set goals based on what they think they can achieve. Thinking into results teaches you to set what Bob Proctor called C-type goals, a goal that excites you and scares you at the same time. I always use that. And one that stretches you into growth. And why is that important? Well, because the purpose of the goal isn't just to get something, it's to grow into someone. Remember my be, do, and have model I always talk about? You want to grow into what you desire to be. And it's the person that you desire to be that will experience the desires of your heart and move out of a place of always, every day, living and longing and discontent for something more. A truly worthy goal pulls you forward. It demands that you expand your thinking, raise your standards, and become that better version of yourself that's aligned with the outcome you desire. So, spiritually, this is about saying yes to the divine impulse within you. We all have that. Whether you admit it or not doesn't make any difference. It just is. There's a divine impulse within you, that urge for greater expression, more life, more creativity. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I love that. So we dive into things like the self image. Again, be, do, have, becoming the person who can achieve it. And here's a profound truth for you: you will never, ever outperform the image you hold of yourself. I share this on many, many, many episodes. People have a self image, and until you elevate that, that's going to be your ceiling. If your self image is small, your achievements will be small. If you believe you're just average, you'll settle for average results. Yeah, they can do it. Not me. Someone else, maybe. Not me. That's your self image. But when you transform your self image, when you see yourself as capable, worthy, powerful, and aligned with your purpose, everything begins to change. Your behavior naturally follows your identity. That's what this is all about. Thinking into results with spiritual integration guides you through this transformation step by step. That's why I'm excited to do this again, because I have helped transform so many lives. This program, in a variety of ways, have transformed hundreds of thousands of lives all around the world. And this will help you replace limiting beliefs with empowering truths And when we bring that spiritual integration into the process, we deepen this work by remembering who we really are, expressions of infinite intelligence itself. We engage the subconscious mind. And one of his books, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he says the subconscious mind is what he said perhaps the connecting point with infinite intelligence. Wow, just think about that. That's what I'm talking about here. Transformation. Transformation. And we have to do this work. You have to replace those limiting beliefs. You're not a small, powerless being hoping for scraps here and there. I'll take a scrap. Maybe I get a scrap of success here. Maybe I'll go and maybe I'll do some coattail stuff, I'll hang around so and so, I'll get some scraps thrown my way. You're a co-creator with the divine, for goodness sakes, endowed with the ability to think, to choose, and manifest. Remember, one of my favorite teachers, Wayne Dyer, often said, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. You have to step into the new you deliberately by design. And then we have to learn, and I spend time with you learning to bridge this knowing doing gap that I talk about a lot. That why'd you do that? I don't know. Well, you did it anyway. You know better. I know. Why'd you do it? I don't know. We gotta overcome that. We live in an age, especially now, of information overload. It's so easy to go down the rabbit hole with everything around us pulling for, vying for our attention. And most people already know what they need to do to improve their health, to improve their relationships, their business or finances. And we look at every area of our lives when we're doing this goal setting, this transformational work. But knowledge alone doesn't change results. This isn't about learning something that you don't know. This is about making the changes and aligning with the vision. And then what matters is action, application. And specifically, we call that aligned action. When we're applying this body of work, this body of knowledge, this new way of thinking and being, when we're applying it and taking action. Because we want to change the results. We want to impact and influence the results. The gap between knowing and doing is where most dreams die. But that gap isn't a lack of discipline most times. It's a paradigm problem. Thinking into results with spiritual integration helps you bridge that gap by teaching you how to align thought, how to align emotion and action. It's about moving from wishing and waiting to living and creating. And that's where the spiritual integration becomes powerful. Faith, not blind belief, but knowing is the bridge. When your mind and heart are aligned, when your belief and behavior match, your actions become unstoppable. And know that I'm talking to you as an individual, and I'm also talking to you as an element on your team in whatever vocation you have chosen to do. So whether you're on the front lines, a consumer facing individual, a critical element of your team, whether you're a C-suite executive or anything in between, manager, supervisor, team lead, doesn't matter. This all applies to you. The difference is in the workplace, rather than calling it a paradigm, we call it culture or groupthink. So we gotta be aware of all this, because you know what? Our environment, and this can be in the workplace, can be in our family, and it can be just our environment can just be the thoughts we constantly think. And that's a key component of all this, because environment Environment is stronger than willpower. Did you know that? And this is all a key principle of the Thinking into Results program. It's understanding the power of environment. And I encourage you to reach out and let's talk about all this stuff and how it applies to you and what your experience and what you're experiencing in your life that you want to overcome. And maybe you don't even know what it is you need to overcome, but you need to overcome something so that you can move into the life you would love to live. But I really want you to understand the power of environment. We're influenced far more by our surroundings, the people we spend time with, the conversations we engage in, even with ourselves, and the habits we tolerate than we realize. If you want to create extraordinary results, you must create an environment that supports them. So this means surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, a guide that believes in you, people who stretch you, who hold you accountable. Accountability is everything. It means filling your mind with ideas that elevate, not limit your thinking. And it means designing routines, spaces, and systems that make success inevitable. With this, it's inevitable. You have to move into the life you would love to live. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Thinking into results shows you how to build those systems so they work for you, not against you. And then we look at a couple more things: the magic of attitude and the power of positive expectancy. At the heart of all creation is expectation. Your expectations, I like to look at those like a thermostat. Your expectations really regulate the level of success, joy, and abundance you allow into your life. It's your set point. A negative attitude, for instance, repels opportunities. A positive, expectant attitude attracts them day in and day out. This was something all this stuff is stuff I had to learn to shift and apply in my life because I was not in a good place. I was not. This body of knowledge came to me, and I was at the lowest of lows, $90,000 in debt. I was a drinker, a smoker, and man, throw other stuff in there. Just a mess. This material like this thought process absolutely transformed my life. And when you consistently think from the place of your goal, when you move into it and think from there, when you expect good things to happen and behave accordingly, the universe rearranges itself to support you. It really does. And it's joy and at first astonishing to see things lining up for you to support you to moving into your field of experience. This isn't metaphysics, it's universal principle. And we heard it in scripture. We heard it from Jesus. We've heard it from countless philosophers. It is done unto you as you believe. Right? What do you believe? Remember Henry Ford, growing up in the shadows of Ford Motor Company in Detroit. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. So that's why one of the greatest practices you can adopt is to act as if, giving you a nugget right here, act as if, to think, feel, and behave right now as the person who has already achieved the goal you want to experience or want to live. That alignment of belief and action alone is the very definition of praxis I talked about a few episodes ago. So I encourage you to go find that and listen to it again and again and again and again. Again, it's the repetition that causes retention along with application and action. But praxis is where transformation really accelerates. So you want to really take that in and learn from that. And let's look at decisions. And I know I'm going over here, but I think this is absolutely worth it. Indecision is the enemy of success. Did you know that? Not deciding, just letting the universe decide by default. The moment you make a committed decision, And I've seen this happen over and over again because I have people sign commitment forms just by signing that commitment form, whether it's prosperity class with me or a premium program like this. When you make a committed decision, not a wish, not a maybe, not a give it a try, but a decision, the universe goes to work on your behalf. It really does, and it's astonishing to witness this. Doors open, resources appear, people show up, finances align, but nothing happens until you decide. Thinking into results emphasizes this again and again. Decision is a creative act. It's how you claim your future in the present moment. And then spiritually, it's how you align with the will of the divine by saying, yes, this is the life I am choosing. I know this is what I am meant to be, do, and have in my life. And let's look at this a little bit for organizations. I alluded to it and touched on it a little bit. While this program is deeply transformational for individuals, it's also profoundly impactful for organizations. When a company embraces thinking into results, it creates a culture shift, a shift from reactive thinking to proactive creation, from fear to vision, from managing people to inspiring potential. Teams begin to speak the same language of growth. Leaders model a mindset of possibility. Innovation thrives, communication improves, and goals, once thought impossible, become achievable. So dust off those corporate goals that maybe you were afraid to throw out there. Whether in your career or your company, these principles work because they are based on universal laws of mind and spirit that never fail. So let's talk just for a minute, just for a second on spiritual integration, then we'll wrap this up. Because spiritual integration is really where thought, our thoughts, your thoughts, my thoughts, where mind meets the infinite. And here's where I bring my own lens to this work. This is my specialty. This is what I'm ordained in. And this is where the transformation becomes even more powerful. Thinking into results is already a life-changing program, but when we bring my counsel, my guidance, and spiritual integration into the process, we're no longer just changing behavior. We're awakening divine potential. That's powerful. The truth is, you are not trying to get success, happiness, or abundance. You are learning to express it because it already exists within you. Infinite intelligence, the creative power that birthed the galaxies, is expressing itself as you. And when your thinking aligns with that truth, your results transform. Emmett Fox, I quote often, he wrote, "You're not limited by anything except the limits you place upon your own thinking." And as my teacher, the late Bob Proctor, often reminded us and reminded me, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So we got to wrap this up here. Way over. Apologize, but not really. Your future is waiting for you. Here's the question I want you to sit with as I wrap this up today. Are you truly living the life you were meant to live? Or are you still letting old paradigms run the show? Think about it. Sit with us. Spend some time with us. Reach out to me. I'll send you some additional questions too that you can just sit with, and then we can get together and just talk about them. There's no charge for this either. And hey, you folks in Brazil, I know there's thousands of you. Reach out to me. So, are you truly living the life you were meant to live? Are you still letting old paradigms run the show? And then think about it. If you're ready to bridge the gap between your current reality and your greatest vision, you're finally ready to do something, to commit, if you're ready to align your beliefs, behaviors, and actions with a future you know is possible, well, if you're ready to think and live from your highest potential rather than toward it, then it's time for you to step into thinking into results with spiritual integration and reach out to me and have a conversation. This isn't just a course, it's a process, a process, a guided journey through 12 powerful lessons that will change how you think, how you act, and ultimately how you live. It's the exact system that has transformed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals all over the world. And now it's available for you in this way that I put it out there. And our next group, our next class is starting very, very soon. And I'd be honored. I'd really be honored. You just have to be willing and able and to just bring it, bring the commitment. And I'd be honored to walk this path with you to help you discover what's truly possible in your life when you stop thinking about results, letting the results, the effect, be where you think from, and start thinking into them. Doing this by design. So reach out to me. To get on my calendar, you go to successappointment.com. Successappointment.com. I have successocean.com that's being updated, but there's some forms on there. You can go to the genesisfrequency.com. There's some other different kind of forms on there that you can fill out. You can reach out to me, tell me a little bit more about you. You can just send me an email, Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. There are many, many ways to get a hold of me. Follow me on Facebook, Stephen J. Kosmyna. Stephen, Stephen, middle initial J, Kosmyna. Find me on Facebook. Find me on LinkedIn. Find me on X. I'm all over the place. Visit me. Come out. Let's touch. Let's talk. Let's discover. And let's have a conversation. Today, book it. Successappointment.com to learn more and reserve your spot in this upcoming program. And anybody can do this. It doesn't matter. Finances are not a deal breaker with anybody. The life you dream of is already within you. Move into it. It's time right now to claim it. So remember, you're not here to merely survive or settle. You're here to create, to express the fullness of your potential, to live a life that reflects the infinite power and intelligence that resides within you. And I'm passionate about this. I hope you can feel that. You want me to bring this to your organization and do a talk, do a speech, do a keynote, featured presenter? I'll do it because everyone in your organization, everyone in your ministry, everyone where you work, everyone walking through your door has this infinite potential residing within them. And it all begins not with effort or struggle, but with a single simple shift, the decision to think into results. So that's it. That's going to do it. Until next time, this is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency podcast, and I invite you to step boldly right now into the life you were created to live, the life you would love to live. Till next time, I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.